Hi, Beretta Provost here, sporting some fun sunglasses with this crazy effect. And I am going to share with you today some of those common social media mistakes that I hear. And even though it's fun to have on the cool glasses, I'll probably get rid of them since they're kind of distracting. But I'm going to talk about some of the common social media mistakes. And for those of you who are just joining, this is Beretta Provost, and I have a background in engineering, crazy enough, hello, Peter Kim, and have worked in corporate America for a long time. I've been a serial entrepreneur and gotten into marketing, social media marketing. So I've built my own business online, as well as now helping other people build their businesses online as well. All right, I think it's time to say goodbye to the sunglasses and go back to normal. Hello, all. And I want to get straight into some common social media mistakes that I frequently hear from people. So we'll get right into it. Hello, everyone. Just taking a minute to try to say hi and let me know drop me a hi in the comments so I know you all are alive and well, and if you want to drop in what city and state you're coming on from, and then we're going to get straight into it as far as top social media mistakes that I see. So number one, and I will share a couple stories in here, and if you have any questions that come up as I'm chatting, be sure and drop those in the comments also. So probably the first one is, do I need to be on every social media channel? No, I know it's tempting to increase your visibility and try to be on every single network, but really, one of the biggest things if you're using social media for business is figuring out what is your target audience. And jumping on social media, it's gonna take up too much time, and just instead of creating all these accounts just for having an account, you want to figure out, where you're going to best capture your audience's attention, and, look at all of these social media channels. So, we still have Twitter, we have obviously Facebook, we have Instagram, we have LinkedIn, we now have TikTok. So we have lots and lots of choices. So you want to make sure that those are fitting in with your target audience. And I would just literally, if you're starting out now, most people have more than one social account at this time, but focus on the ones that you're good at, that you enjoy. I just read an article about someone who had 90,000 followers on Instagram and shut down their account, turned it off because it didn't really resonate with them, even though they had all of these followers. So that would be, one of the number one things. Number two question that I probably hear all the time and mistake is about what kind of content should I be? You know what I forgot today? And sorry if you guys can hear me all right, is I forgot to put my microphone on. But anyway, we will continue on. So what type of content should I be sharing? And the answer is I should be sharing the content that your audience wants to hear. So, it comes down again to knowing what is that ideal customer, what are your key selling points, and it becomes, much easier to create content if you know that they're likely to hear you, to enjoy what you're saying and sharing that information. So thank you very much for giving me an A-OK on the sound. So, you want to have a solid understanding of the people that you're targeting for their lifestyle and their pain points and their desires and the things that they are looking for. And then obviously, you want to create content that's authentic to you and the person that you are wanting to attract. So, obviously we can go to outside sources to look for inspiration, but we want it to be your voice, your content, that it's something that resonates with you. Another common mistake that I see is that, people want to know how often should I be posting? And the answer is it kind of depends. Like there's not really one great rule of thumb. I mean, you want to get quality content over that quantity portion of it. Now, let's say on like Facebook stories, that's some place that you can do a lot of posting. Whereas now, the feed within Facebook, I would say mostly like 1 to 2 times a day is going to be one of the maximum. But it kind of depends on each of the platforms that you're on, and then as well what your audience is looking for. So I know that's kind of like a nebulous answer, but you do want to kind of figure out. And so it's going to take a little bit of trial and error for each of those different channels for you to know what people are looking for and how often you should be posting. But again, for sure, you want to make that there's quality content and, versus just posting things for posting things. So like, take the time to put together something that you really feel like people are going to resonate with. And then for those of you that have like a business page on some of the platforms, a question I get asked and a mistake I see with people is that, should you pay for advertising? And if, the deal is with a lot of these social media platforms, if you're a business on a business page, it's kind of pay to play. So that is definitely a place where you can experiment and, that you may want to consider paying for some social media advertising. Now, the nice thing is that you can go pretty far with a small social, a budget. It doesn't need to be this enormous budget. And, there's a lot of other tricks that you can use to maximize your advertising budget. And for those of you who want any more information on that, I help out with social media marketing, as many of you know, and the reason that you're probably stopping by right now to check this out. So definitely shoot me a message if you want some more information on any of the social media help. Okay, let's continue on. What about... a lot of times you hear about ROI, so return on investment. Well, the fact is with social media that it is actually like the amount you get from it should be the ROI for those of you, we'll take a minute do some math, is like how much you're paying for those social media campaigns versus, like what you invested versus what you're getting back. But it's kind of a tricky subject because, I would say that, one of the statistics I read is that 40% of companies don't really have any idea whether or not their social media is actually paying it off. But, there are different ways that you can track things, and it's also about, getting that brand awareness out and for people to see and to have that brand recognition. So there are definitely some tricks as far as capturing the ROI. And again, if you want any more detail, because I'm kind of flying through a whole list of things, then get in touch with me and I'll be happy to elaborate and give you some more information regarding this. So, all right. And again, then probably the next question, I have some notes here in front of me, is, what is the best time to post? Well, I wish, again, a lot of these had like a hard and fast rule for you, but a lot of times it's going to take a little bit of experimenting. So, the best time to post depends on your network and when your audience is most active. So for example, I've been thinking about doing these live shows and episodes on a regular basis and went to look at some of my data that I found that people, for me, doing it during the daytime just works a lot better. And found that at 3:00 on a Thursday and a Tuesday was a good time for a lot of my audience. So I thank you for joining me. And if you are watching the replay, be sure and type replay in the comments. And then another, common mistake is like getting, how do I get more followers? Well, you get more followers by giving people a reason to follow her. So you, again, want to have that engaging conversation. And it's about creating these lasting relationships with people and having conversations online. We're not trying to be an infomercial. We're not trying to be salesy all the time, but we're trying to have this engaging content. So people, you're not just asking them to follow you for any particular reason, but you're giving them a reason to come back and see you by having engaging content, interesting, they want to see a little bit about your lives, your personal lives. And, all of those things are kind of a balance. So, even though I may have a lot of people that are on my Facebook page, like I'm very specific about the people that I'm looking for. And now that I've been doing it long enough, when I'm adding new friends or adding people to my page, I kind of know what I'm looking for. So it helps with that. Should I, connect with everyone, which kind of goes along with that same thing? No, you don't always have to follow people back. You don't need to accept every friend request. You should have a good idea of those people that you're trying to reach and be in touch with so that you can have those, loyal fans, those loyal customers, those loyal clients, the people that you're looking for. And, I know it makes it a little difficult when you have like a big news feed to go through all of those things. But anyway, that's another little tip as far as like connecting with everyone, if that's something that you want to do. And is it okay to share promotional content? Yes, you just don't want to overdo it. So you want to be providing good, amazing, back to that good content, that good value. Like, am I providing value for somebody today in some way? As it relates to the purpose of why you are on social media. I mean, and some people, it might be, I'm talking more to businesses and online businesses. If you're just on there to have fun, well, then so be it. And then, a few other mistakes that I see people make is like, do I need to have like a social media calendar? Well, yes, it's probably a good idea for you to have some kind of like scheduling tool or a social media content calendar so you have an idea of what you're going to post and when. Now, I use a pretty robust one with helping with other clients and helping people with social media. You cannot do that for your personal page, but if you have a business page. But what I do even for my own personal page is I schedule it out. What I find works for me is if I have a general schedule for the week about the things that I'm going to be posting and what I'm going to be talking about, so that helps. And then do you need, finally, like any kind of outside help with your social media? Well, again, that kind of depends. It depends on the goals of your business. It depends on the budget that you have, but definitely as somebody who, as we add more and more social media platforms, as the algorithms change, somebody who's a professional is going to know some of the ins and outs that you may not have the time yourself to figure out, and can help you do, those social media campaigns, help you manage all the different networks. So it's definitely worth exploring if you're at that point in your business. And the great thing is, finding the right person, you can have a conversation with them and know if it's going to be a good fit and work together as a team to reach your goals with social media. If you'd like any more elaboration on any of these tips, feel free to message me. And if you got some value out of this, type value in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you again. I'll be back live on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific and Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific. So with that, thank you so much for jumping on and joining me, and have an amazing rest of your day.